Enel will come back way sooner than you think, and this theory will convince you that Enel's return will happen on Elbaf. This is something that a lot of fans have been waiting for, the day that Enel returns into the main story, and I believe that it is long overdue. So enjoy this video as we dive deep into Enel's imminent return and why Elbaf could be the stage for his electrifying comeback. First of all, we have to understand that Oda introduced Enel way too early in the story. He said it himself in an SBS that he regrets having introduced Crocodile and Enel this early on in One Piece, but the reason he was introduced this early was because at the time he never expected for One Piece to last for as long as it has. So just like Crocodile, who Oda brought back into the main story and gave him the bounty he actually deserves, Enel will come back and be acknowledged as the huge threat that he is. Now, to start off this theory, we have to realize that Elbaf is heavily inspired by Norse mythology. The Viking hats, the weapons they use, the longships, and even the names they have come from Viking gods. Like Gerd, Jarul, and most notably Loki, Thor's brother, the god of lightning, who Oda obviously took inspiration from to make Enel. So when we realize all the links that Enel has with the Viking mythology, it is very hard to believe that he won't show up during this arc. But now let's look at the significant connection that exists between Skypiea and Elbaf. One noteworthy example is the correlation between the blue serpent Nola in Skypiea and the blood-soaked serpent referenced by Dory and Brogy in chapter 129. Furthermore, this serpent, Nola, is directly inspired from Jormungandr, the famous mid-god serpent from the Norse mythology. He is the one that starts Ragnarok and eventually kills Thor. But I believe that these two islands go beyond mere spiritual parallels. Rather, I believe there is a literal connection between them. They are linked to each other. That's right, there is a giant beanstalk called Giant Jack, obviously inspired by the story Jack and the Beanstalk, and in the story at the very top of the beanstalk, Jack finds giants. But there's one thing that people have always wondered when it came to this giant beanstalk. It's where does it come from? We've seen the end of the beanstalk, but we've never seen its roots. In one panel, Oda shows us underneath a cloud island, and we can clearly see that the beanstalk starts from somewhere else. At the time, fans had speculated and drawn what the giant beanstalk could look like if it was linked to Elbaf, and I believe that this is the case. Giant Jack is directly connected to Elbaf, which would make Skypiea and Elbaf linked literally together. To support this even further, in chapter 866 we can see Elbaf, and we notice that there are very mysterious shapes that resemble tree roots that seems to be surrounding the island. This could be the roots of the giant beanstalk, and this would finally also explain why there was a giant on the map of Skypiea. Yes, in the map Luffy found, there was a giant that seems to be walking around on the island. So whether it is directly or indirectly, Skypiea and Elbaf are linked together, and the same can be said for Enel. Enel is linked to Thor, the god of thunder. The evident similarity lies not only in their shared ability to control lightning and thunder, but also in the common thread of arrogance that binds them together. Enel literally calls himself a god, and in chapter 264, Enel states that he is literally thunder. He believes that he is a supreme being that is higher than everyone else. And in the SBS of volume 33, Oda says that Enel's attack, like Thor, were inspired by the god of war and lightning in Norse mythology, which is Thor. But what's also interesting is that in Norse mythology, Thor was known to always pick a fight against giants. Since the giants were allied with Loki, the trickster god, and Thor's half-brother, Thor always used to fight them because of his conflicts with his brother. Thor was the giants' #1 enemy, and since we've realized that Oda introduced a Thor through Enel's character, it would make sense that Enel is the main antagonist for the Elbaf arc. But all these links between Thor and Enel are not a coincidence, because even if we look back at Enel's history, he mentioned that he comes from a sky island called Berka, and this island shares its name with a real city that is in Sweden. It used to be an important Viking Age trading center which handled goods from Scandinavia, and this city in particularly worshipped the god of thunder, Thor. So all these information just link Enel, Skypiea and Elbaf together. But why would Enel need to come back now into the main story, you may wonder? Well, to put it simply, revenge. In One Piece, we've had so many characters come back for this reason. Alvida, Crocodile, Lucci, Bellamy, Buggy, Big Mom, and the list goes on and on. To put it briefly, Oda has done this so many times, so why shouldn't this not be the same case with Enel? And if he was to come back on Elbaf, then we'd also have a perfect parallel between Enel and Luffy. The human who just can't accept he is not a god, Enel, and the god who can't accept he isn't a human, the official sun god, Monkey D. Luffy. The next reason for Enel's comeback would be for the story's development. Thanks to Enel's return, we'd be able to learn about all the information he's acquired on the moon, making Elbaf a huge revelation arc. He's learned so much on the moon during his mini adventures, so this would be a good way for Oda to introduce all of this to us. But the main reason I believe as to why Enel needs to come back is because of electricity. I know that it's very simple, but if we look at the One Piece world, we quickly realize that electricity does not exist. In the One Piece world, the energy sources that they use revolves around muscular energy, hydroelectric power, fire, light, and even Frankie's cola, but no one uses electricity. The only time electricity was used as a source of energy was in chapter 277, and it was done by Enel. To power up the Arc Maxim, he used electricity. And also in chapter 1068, we learned that there used to be a mysterious source of energy that used to power up ancient technologies, an energy that could be instantly available to everyone around the world. This energy, I believe, is electricity. This is what Vegapunk has been searching for all this time. Vegapunk wants to create a sea of information that anyone can access at any time and from anywhere. To put it simply, what he wants to create is something that is similar to what we have in our world, the internet. So this source of energy that Vegapunk has been searching for is electricity, something that is possible with the Goro Goro no Mi, Enel's devil fruit.